This is a quick announcement letting you guys know about my eBay store. The link is in the video description as well as on the screen. I am selling many items from my personal collection and I'm shipping them directly to you. Feel free to check that out, and thank you to everybody who has purchased something from the store. Appreciate it. Alright, my very first filming location's MEGASODE, and it's going to be Halloween 4, 5, and 6. The director's cut, or extended cut, however you want to call it. It is my trip to Utah from last year, and a lot of additional footage and a lot of bonus segments that I did not include in the separate videos here on the channel. So I begin my video here at the Walmart Supercenter in Reno, and already this trip is paying off with all kinds of stuff that I've never seen before. This Walmart has this horror section out that I have yet to see at any other store. I'm probably going to snag this Michael Myers mask here. I've slowed down a lot on like this kind of stuff. The wall art, and not a It collector. I am a Jason collector, but I'm going to be skipping on this. Flipping through to see if they have anything else. Doesn't really look like it. I also don't really collect these little minifigures. This Jeepers Creepers Bluetooth speaker is really cool, but it's 35 bucks, so I'm probably going to pass on this as well. Might be bringing this home though. It's a Halloween 2 shirt in a box. I don't know. I'm not really crazy about the look of the shirt. They have these Halloween costume figures as well. Not a collector of these. It is cool to see all kinds of different stuff though hitting the Walmarts. And I can't believe that I have to travel 5 hours away from my home to find some of the stuff they have here. Like this ruby red squirt. I'm going to be getting a cartload of this just because this stuff is... I thought this stuff was discontinued, honestly. It's impossible to find. And I'm not lying when I said I got a cartload of it. And also this AMC Theater popcorn. I've been looking for this for like 2 years now. This is the only Walmart that I've ever seen that has had this stuff. Of course, nobody's on the fucking street until I want to film. So I'm now in Midville, and behind me is the Vincent Drugstore, which they used in Halloween 4 and Halloween 5. I came early because this is actually a pretty busy street, but we're going to cross the street and go check it out. So I will be, throughout the video, lining up screen caps versus present day filming locations. So this will be the first of many, this one being from Halloween 5, where the bus pulls up to the bus stop. We'll cross over in a minute and get a closer look. And just see how the trees have grown over the last 40 years. In addition to the time of year that I'm visiting, and I'll be saying that a lot through the video as well, I'm in the total opposite time of year than when they filmed this. Really cool retro looking lights have been replaced that you see in the film to those now. So this is the street used in the film. I've decided to come early because it's a busy street, and the last time I was here it was really packed. This is looking the other way. Unfortunately, the big famous sign that used to run along the front that said Vincent Drug has been removed. Part of that one is still here. Now, it looks like they're working on the building a little bit, or something happened to it. It's under construction, and last time the front looked a little bit different. There was like a fence along the top there, so I don't know what they're doing inside, if they're gonna tear it down or what they're doing, but it's changed to a degree since 2022 was the last time I was here. This is a storefront. Keep in mind, this wasn't the actual location for what was filmed here. What you see in Halloween 4 was not actually filmed inside this former drugstore. What you see inside here is this. That's what's actually in there. It's nothing like what they filmed in Halloween 4. That was across town. That's the location we're not going to be visiting today because it's now a salon. But this is what was actually inside of this building. So it's right about here that the kid is waiting for the bus that the man in black steps off of. That all happens right here in front of the Vincent Drug as well. The bus stops right about here, and you can see the little dog right about where this plate's at on the ground. So this doubles as a Halloween 4 and a Halloween 5 location. And for those curious, I'll add this in the director's cut, or whatever I might end up calling it. This is more of the street that the Vincent Drugstore is on. For you guys who have never been here or never will have the opportunity to come here, this is the town of Midville, where that portion of the film was filmed. One other thing I did notice is that whatever they're doing to this building, whether they're remaking it or retrofitting it or whatever they happen to be doing, since the last time I was here as well, there used to be an antiques sign that was run up there. You could see in the film as well. And it was here as recent as 2022 when I last visited. That's gone also. It used to be right up there. I'm not deaf, and I'm not here to try any Halloween shit with anybody other than filming a locations video. This is Bucky's power plant. So this is it, the actual one, and even though Bucky's not around no more, this is exactly what he said in the film to Michael Myers. And this is, I'm gonna run the camera thing over the fence and get a better shot. It's high enough. I'm not really sure exactly where Bucky was positioned in the film. It's not clear. The number of the transformer box that he's working on isn't clear enough in the film. But much of the action does happen out that way. You can see that building in the background, and Michael Myers goes through that way as well. If you watch very closely, I'll try to insert a picture or a video of where he heads. You can also see that building back there in the background. So we're actually now more along the lines of where this was actually filmed, is on this side of the facility. You can see up there on the right where the white panels are. It's most likely where Bucky was standing. You can see that building there behind him as well with the window. And that apparatus that goes up about 15 feet high is also there in the shot. And then as the camera pans this way towards where I'm standing, you can see the fence that is right in front of me behind Michael Myers in the shot there. A little behind the scenes of what's actually out here where they filmed the Halloween 4 opening credits, literally right off the road. Down the dusty road, not the Wrestler dusty roads, but a actual dusty road to the Halloween 4 credits location for this one. Look where the patrolman was standing. It'd actually be further up there by where that bridge is at. So this barrier was added recently because also in the film Dr. Loomis pulls from here and parks down here. So you used to be able to park down here, but now there's not exactly enough area to be able to do that. We actually parked up there up the street. We're gonna go check out the bridge. You can even tell by looking at the wood that it's newer wood that they added. But this is where Dr. Loomis would have pulled off. Would have been right about here. Parking over here. And the Halloween 4 bridge is gonna be up there. So if you notice these two posts on the screen grab, the one on the right is still out here. We're going to walk right past it on our way to the Halloween 4 bridge. So that's the screen used post from Halloween 4 we just walked by. While we have a minute to get to our next location, I'll let you guys know if you want to follow me on Instagram. My page is mostly dedicated to horror and horror collectibles and Halloween. My page is My Halloween Life. We've now made our way to the bridge and the area in which Dr. Loomis and Dr. Hoffman come out to check out the ambulance crash. This is where trivia, Alan McElroy is standing in the shot. This is where they approach the ambulance crash site. I don't know if it registers on film just how small of an area that this is for them to put that, all of that down into here. You see the bedrock back there. That is behind Dr. Loomis and the scene with the ambulance. One last look up at the bridge. We head back. I'm not gonna climb up that. It's steeper than it looks. And there's about 10,000 mosquitoes out here. And who knows what else. So it was right up here where close to 40 years ago, Donald Pleasance delivered his famous speech regarding Michael Myers. They're talking about him as if he were a real human being. That part of him died years ago. Happened right here. So this would have been more along the actual spot where this was filmed. And then down there is where Dr. Loomis would have pulled. Now approaching the Tower Farm. If that house looks familiar, and we're gonna stay on the street because that's probably somebody's house. This is where the barn would have stood, and it actually did up until a few years ago. I personally never got to see it in person. There's the house where a lot of the action took place for Halloween 5. Back there, way beyond those trees in the back, is where a good amount of action also took place. So this is my first attempt to come to the Halloween 6 bus stop, which is actually the Ogden Airport. This is the 4th of July, and unfortunately, this facility is closed today. I'm going to make a second attempt to come visit this location tomorrow. You can see this is where Jamie pulls up to in her pickup truck. Do a quick screen grab of what we can see. Our next location we visit is going to be Hadenfield Junior College. You can see right behind me is where Kara Strode can't find her term paper, and that building behind me up there is where Barry Sims, the sign was hanging that Barry is coming. Much of the building on the opposite side was filmed in the producer's cut. We're going to dive into this location here at Hadenfield Junior College from Halloween 6. Luckily I have the whole place to myself since school is currently out. This is actually July 4th I'm filming this. So you can see this is where they pulled up into the parking lot. It was right along here. Again, different time of year, different aesthetic. This building on the left, you can see as Barry Sims is heading into the parking lot, facing the other way, heading to the radio van. I'm gonna assume this is where the Barry Sims sign was hung. Much has changed in nearly 30 years. I'm assuming it would be that building there. And this is the area where she can't find her term paper. Coming up to this building. If you line this up just right, get the shot of Karest Road there. This is from the producer's cut. You can see that brick there, this rail at the end of the building, then all the trees in the parking lot behind her. Next thing we line up is this. And you can see where building 2 is at. Still looks the same as it did in the film for the most part. Building on the left is identical. Doubtful that that's the same benches in the shot. Also from the producer's cut. I was looking for a lamppost similar to that to line up where exactly all of this might have happened, but it looks like 30 almost years of change and stuff looks entirely different. We can only assume that this is where much of the Halloween fair took place. You do see the mountains back there in a few shots of the daytime scenes. Very lastly, in this very parking lot, Barry Sims, unfortunately for him, got into the wrong van. They don't really highlight that on the theatrical version, that he was inside the wrong van. He was looking for his radio van, but what he got inside was the Smith's Grove van, and they don't highlight that fact except for in the producer's cut. But this is the parking lot where that took place. We are now here at the Halloween 6 barn, which is luckily still standing, whereas the Tower Farm from Halloween 5 is not. This one is a little bit worse for wear. This is also the site of where George P. Wilbur took some promo pictures for Halloween 6. This structure has to be super old. It has to be probably the oldest structure that's in this neighborhood. But for us Halloween fans, we're lucky that it's still around. Still pretty screen accurate too. It looks just like it did in the film. You can take a look around and see what I mean. Literally everything around here for miles is brand new. Brand new housing by the look of it. So we're going to be very quick and to the point while we get onto this. This is private property. We're just going to drive through here. We're not even going to get out. We're just going to do a quick drive through and get what we can. So if you blink, you'll miss this Halloween 6 barn. We're now here at 1926 Lincoln Street. This is the house from Halloween 6, which served as a Myers/Strode house. And I understand why they wanted that tree cut down across the street. You can't even see the house with this tree up there. I saw in one of the Halloween 6 documentaries that they took the tree in the front down. It must have grown back. Right out here is where the late, great Bradford English was standing. R.I.P. We lost him recently. This is the street, the sidewalk which Danny Strode walks up. And I've been saying it the whole video, the aesthetic is different because I'm here in September. As it gets to the end of Ramona Avenue, right up here on the corner, you see the man in black, who's strangely enough standing outside the Barry Sims van. Or is it? Right across the street is the Blankenship house with the window made famous by Paul Rudd. A very similar setup to Halloween 1978, having the two houses directly across from each other. So this is considered the Blankenship boarding house, right across from the Myers house there on the right. I seem to remember seeing this tree as Kara Strode jumps out the window a little bit later. And right here is where Michael Myers walks through as he's chasing Danny and Kara Strode from across the street. They come right through here and walk right up to that door. And it's from right over there. And I would love to see the outtakes. I remember reading in a Fangoria that George P. Wilbur slipped on some of the snow. There's a tree I was talking about in the shot as Kara Strode dives out the window and lands right on the grass out here in front of where I'm standing. Again, the window made famous by Paul Rudd. This house really has not changed very much. And there's another one that has not changed very much at all either. That's the house that the kids drive by on their way to school. It looks like that house has not changed in 30 years. And right here, you can see Mrs. Blankenship was raking the leaves. I did look up Janice Nickram on the Find a Grave website. Since I'm out here in Salt Lake City, I was going to go visit and pay my respects, but unfortunately I did not find anything on her. And for those of you who are curious, as I was, yes, the basketball hoop is still here on the house behind where John Strode is seen driving into his driveway. Although it's a new one. My next location behind me is the school from Halloween 4, or as Dr. Loomis called it, the schoolhouse. So it's unclear to me It's unknown, as far as I know, if the interiors were used during the film. Hard to believe Halloween 4 is already past its 35th anniversary. It was actually the first Halloween that I ever saw at the movies. So one thing that does not look like it got upgraded is going to be this wall here, and those pillars that are up there. I believe those are unchanged from the movie. I'm not sure which stairs Danielle Harris would have come down, whether it was these stairs here or the ones that are further down. And let's take a look closer at those doors, and I'll line those up later too. Those could be the doors from the film. I'll have to check it out and check out to see if any of this lines up. I do remember a bunch of window panes throughout the end of the film, so it's quite possible that this was the location used for the interiors as well. Jamie comes from over here, which I believe is probably more likely that she comes out of here, comes down these stairs. See, here is that. You can line up that brick pillar down there at the end as well, on the far right. And now here's the other thing. As for the tree, I believe it's this tree. Mainly because if you look at the film, it's a tree near an intersection. And the only intersection that's on this street would be this one. So if you take that and do this, I believe that's the right spot. So anyway, this is the school from Halloween 4. This is the street it's on. Pretty nice neighborhood, pretty nice school. Unless Michael Myers is coming to town. So this corner coming up across the street is where Jamie and Billy ran into each other. Billy let her know that Tina was at the Tower Farm. That happened here, right on this corner, which is kind of strange considering the neighborhood we're in, because we are 1 block away from the Halloween 5 Myers house, which is where we're heading. As we head down this street, heading to the Myers house, we're going to come across a few things along the way. A lot of these houses here in Utah look practically the same. This one reminds me a lot of the Halloween 4 house that was Jamie Lloyd's house. And now this one could actually double as the Halloween 5 Myers house, but it's not. We're walking up to it right now. This is the real deal Halloween 5 Michael Myers house. Finally under new ownership and getting a complete makeover. Glad to see it being taken care of and not quite as goofy looking with all the paint jobs that it's endured throughout the years. You can see the door. I believe this door has not changed since the film. It looks like the exact same one. If you're really quick, you can notice in the film that they covered up the address that was above the door. This gate is still the same as well. It's the same gate that Donald Pleasance walks through as he's on his way to enter the Myers house. It's from right about here where they got a shot of him, although they got a really low shot of him entering the gate. You see what I mean? They kind of covered up the 1007 address that's up there, the actual address of this home. We're going to head around the side here and check a few things out. Right about here on the left is where the SWAT team was parked. This is likely the corner where they filmed this, with Jamie up, sitting in that window there. Would have been cool if they could have used that top balcony for something, I always thought. Every time I visit this house, I'm like, I'm surprised they couldn't have figured something out to include that. So where that car was parked here is right about where that officer that got rammed from behind in the film by Michael Myers approaching. And then right out here is where a lot of the police cars were at. Sheriff Meeker was standing out here. And there's a screen grab from what I was just mentioning. We're now heading towards the residence of Ben Meeker, the Meeker mansion from Halloween 4. As we turn the corner to this driveway, I'll always say it was the deputy's fault that left the car door open and gave Michael Myers a ride to this location. Everything that happened from that point on in the film was on him. You see just a lot of brush has overgrown this house, and it's really hard to see anything. What we can see is the very front by the steps and the door, and it hasn't changed that much at all since the film. Pretty much identical. The only thing I really see that's different is maybe the addition of the lions that are there. So this house here was used in quite a few shots in Halloween 4. See Jamie running by it while she's trying to escape Michael Myers towards the end of the film. You see it also in the daylight during the Hadenfield, Illinois title shot. Coming up to the house next to this. A strange but true fact. They did a cut here from the Meeker mansion to here, and Michael Myers is standing outside of this house in Halloween 4. This is also doubled as the Halloween 5 Mr. Cornish house, where Rachel ran next door to. And then up next is the home of Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 4 and Halloween 5. Halloween 5, you see Tina and Rachel were standing right about here in the front. The gate for this house is also still the same. And the clown cops are standing here as well. Pay attention to these two pedestals that are in the screen grab, because they're still here. Physically. You can see them right over there. So that's where Michael Myers would have been hiding, in the bushes, which are now gone. Standing right here with his big neck mask, looking on at 509, which is the address of this home. And it's coming up this street where Max comes running down the street back to Rachel, stopping in front of the gate here. From this vantage point, you can see this lamppost, and then across the street, you can see that building there in both Halloween 4 and Halloween 5, although the building has been significantly updated. It's now a coffee shop, whereas it looked just like a private residence or a business of some sorts. Maybe even a school. Can't really tell what it is in this screen cap. Do you notice how much that building across the street has changed from then till now? We're now here on D Street in Salt Lake City. This is where Michael Myers is watching Tina and Samantha cross over the street on their way to the convenience store where Spitz and Mikey were hanging out. Michael Myers turns his attention back to this convenience store. This is now the Foodie Sweetie D Market, and they have a pretty good selection of drinks here. I got a strawberry smoothie, which is pretty good. I want to take you guys on the inside and show you what's actually in here, but you don't see this in the film. So you don't see any of this interiors used at all. You can kind of, if you really quickly look through the window, well, there's an outside shot, but this is what's actually in this building now. I believe this was actually a real convenience store when they filmed Halloween 5. At least if you're looking closely at the film, it appears to be a real convenience store with what you can see. But this is it now. So this is the opposite way of what was filmed. This is where Don Shanks would have walked up to get to Jonathan Chapin. This is the route that Michael Myers took to get to the back of the parking lot. So you don't see this in the film, but this is like the route that he would have come up. You do see this brown building with the brick behind him as he approaches Mikey. We're going to head back around the other way and go as they did in the film. It's right about here where Mikey was parked with the Camaro here in the front. He comes up this street, which is actually a one-way street, so he's driving up the wrong way. And he pulls into this lot and is ultimately taken care of by Michael Myers back here in this parking lot. That's the door that Spitz goes back in to work through. And this is the opposite side of where we just came from. I just walked through here, and that's where Michael Myers comes through, takes care of Mikey, laying him out right about here. So as a kind of extra bonus, this is a different look at the convenience store and the street that Mikey drives down. Kind of a backwards view of the movie. Michael Myers is standing over there by those trees on the right, looking at the school across the street over there. Then he comes across this street here, which is actually a one-way street. And the Camaro that Mikey drives parks over in that lot on the right as well. We're now in the neighborhood of North Canyon Road, out here in Salt Lake City. An awful lot happened within this area. We have a lot of ground to cover. We're going to start with the toilet papering scene from Halloween 4. So this is just a quick thing they did in Halloween 4 to transition from daytime to night, but it was a really cool, memorable scene, I thought. And this area that they filmed it at has been exponentially remodeled. it looked like it was just a park, and now it has a bridge and a pond and all kinds of stuff. Kind of hard to believe, but this is actually how close we are to downtown. Literally a block over. So this area is actually right next to the kids' toilet papering scene. And you can see this house at 42 minutes and 43 seconds in the film. So we're about to embark on a 1 mile radius of where many scenes for Halloween 4 at night were filmed. Beginning with our first, where Sheriff Meeker and Dr. Loomis meet Rachel and Jamie. You can see that building right there behind their car. And again, there's a good 20 locations along here from Halloween 4. Here's another one. Right behind that is the street where Jamie claims to have a big dog with her and it bites. And next to that is the fake Michael standing down in the alley by this house here. Or one of the fake Michaels. And right at that house that is 2 homes over is another fake shape. I believe he's standing down more in the alley there between these 2 houses. It's hard to really gauge where he was standing, but I believe it's between these 2 houses here. And then the real Michael decides to show up, standing in the middle of this street. Again, the proximity of downtown is crazy because you see downtown, and then if I can pan the camera to the left, you will see one of the trick-or-treating houses. This is one of the houses that Jamie and Rachel walk up to, and there's another one right there. So this is supposed to be a small Midwestern town, and it's literally almost in the middle of downtown Salt Lake City. As we head towards the end of the street, we'll be approaching Memory Grove Park. This is the same street that Earl and his friends drive up in their truck. You can see a few shots of the truck approaching this particular area. I really think that this area has changed because it seems like they drive right up to this monument when in fact you can't do that any longer. You can see here in the screen grab it looks a little bit differently, like there's a sidewalk there. So this is another place that has been remodeled heavily since 1988. You see it's right in there where Ted Hollister meets his demise, thanks to Al. That dumb son of a bitch said he saw Myers, but it was actually Ted Hollister. And this is actually a World War I memorial site. And that you can see what I mean more along the lines over here. This is the entrance to Memory Grove Park. And it seems like Earl in his truck just drives right up to the monument. And whereas now the monument is way over there. So if you guys plan on visiting these Halloween 4 locations one day, one thing I do recommend is, especially in this area, there is a North Canyon Road and then there's a canyon side. Just remember that canyon side is the alley. I didn't do my research good enough the first time I visited here, and I was having trouble finding things. So all the locations that we just covered are North Canyon Road. We're going to head up the canyon side alleyway and head to our next group of locations. As we head up canyon side, this railing on my right is where the scene with Rachel heading up the alley was filmed. Looks more like this because this is the side that they filmed it on. If you look at this white building coming up on the left, it just looks like a big garage in the film. That's actually filmed from the other side where we're going to head towards, but that is the building there on the left that you do see in the film. And this is how you see it in the film. That's the garage that we just walked by. This building with the flag on the left is the building that the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern, was sitting on, with a quick camera cut too. And then this building here, they used 2 times in the film, with Michael Myers hanging out behind it. You can see him once while he's watching Jamie trick or treat by the Meeker Mansion on the complete other side of town. And then they have a second shot of him stalking Rachel. And as we head further up Canyon Side Road, a lot of this looks just like it did 35 years ago, this part in particular. Curious to know if they took that fence down for filming. And this is where all of the screen cap took place. Now we're heading back down Canyon Side. And this actually will eventually lead out to where the toilet papering park that we covered earlier is at. So everything is very close in proximity within a 1-mile radius that we just covered. Lucky for me, I stopped at Target and they gave me this display when I bought this wrestling figure. So that's a big, cool souvenir to get from Salt Lake City. Our next location is way up above Salt Lake City. We are up here at the Meridian apartment complex, but it served as Smith's Grove Sanitarium in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. So this has been remodeled completely since the film. This location doubled in Halloween 6 and resembles more of Halloween 6, producer's cut, as Warren County Sanitarium. This location, though, has gone under a complete remodel. I looked even on Google Maps as far back as 2009 and couldn't find anything that looks similar to the film. So I initially thought that back here was where the ambulance scene was filmed from the beginning of Halloween 4. But the more I look at stills and the more I look at the footage that I have from being here, I'm starting to think that this might not be where that was filmed. I'm thinking that this is where it was filmed, right here in the front. I think that prior to the remodeling of all of this, that this is where all of that took place. So you see along the front here, this is the very front of the entire complex. That used to be, I believe, a window there. You can see the steps. So this is where you can see the ambulance initially pulled up to check in. You see with my screen grab here, this is what this looked like in the film. There was windows, a sign that they brought in for filming was placed above. And then if I think I'm looking at this correctly, as the camera moves along over here to the right, which is no longer even here, I believe this is where that would have been in 1988, which is now gone. Again, with the time of year, all of this did not exist while they were filming. Here I am on the same road that Reverend Jackson P. Sayer and Dr. Loomis were riding along. This is actually where Loomis was hitchhiking. Right along this very road. I was always curious to see how this street looked, but again, with the time of year that I'm here, it looks completely different versus how it would look in the fall. The actual fall here, it would probably look very similar to the film. But I just so happen to be here in the middle of summer, so everything looks totally different than it did in the film. This is still the same street, this is still the exact same area, it's just aesthetically different. So right here is the actual spot where Dr. Loomis is out and is picked up by Reverend Sayer. I have the coordinates in my actual Halloween 4 video, which is on YouTube on the channel. If you want to find this exact location, you could check that video out, as I did not put any of that kind of stuff in this cut of the video. So I'm now back for attempt number 2 of trying to get into the Ogden airport. And again, we are shut out because I opted to stop at the at-home store instead of coming straight here. So it looks like this trip we are out of luck as far as getting into what was supposed to be the bus depot for Hadenfield. I'm gonna have to try on my next filming locations video for Halloween 6, whenever that might be. We are here today at my very favorite location that we have visited since I've been in Utah. This is the Storm Mountain picnic area. And we're going to explore the location that they used to film Halloween 5. Beautiful area. It's right about over here where the Hermit Shack from Halloween 5 would have been, right in this area. And then not far from here, we're going to see where Michael Myers crawled out of the canyon after being blown down the mine shaft. So if you come out here looking for the Halloween 5 location, To give you a really quick overview of where it's at, that is the entrance down there. And then all of this behind me is a parking area. So what you want to do is go by this first parking spot here on the left. Look for this picnic table number 2. And that will lead you right to the spot where they filmed at. You have to kind of come down here a little bit to get to it. Last time there wasn't quite so many weeds and stuff, but it's actually right back there. So right there is the area. Michael Myers comes crawling out from that rock. He drops into the water and he continues downstream that way. Sorry if my hands are a little shaky. It's really, really cold out here, plus the wind chill from the river. We're gonna go explore this place a little bit more before we head out to our next location. So I was actually out here in 2022, and that was before I had any kind of YouTube channel that I did locations and stuff on. And one of my main regrets of not having recorded something was right here in Utah. And I took a lot of pictures during that trip, but I was not into videoing back then. And that's one of the regrets that I have. This could have been my first 3 videos, Halloween 4, 5, and 6, when I visited Utah in 2022. So we're now at the Cottonwood paper mill, which was built in 1883. To us Halloween fans, this is known as the ritual site from Halloween 6. It was previously a granite paper mill, became abandoned, and then was used as a haunted house of all things for a few years. How cool would that be to attend a haunted house here? But it was condemned by the city of Cottonwood Heights in 2005, and if you are considering visiting this place, I would suggest you guys do it quickly, because there's a proposal out to turn this entire area here. They want to tear it down and put it into some type of housing. So if this is on your bucket list of Halloween locations to visit, then I would suggest coming out here as soon as possible. I have never actually gone into the actual area where this was used for the filming of Halloween 6. I'm not as adventurous as some people are to climb fences and get stuck with whatever's in that brush. I'm good. I'll just admire it from here, even for the video. So if you go around the side, there is a door, and I did see that last time I was here. I hiked up that mountain that's back there a little bit, and the doorway to Smith's Grove is also over here on the side. But this is the Cottonwood paper mill. Get out here quickly, again, if you want to see it, because it is currently under a threat to be completely torn down. We're heading back over to Salt Lake City now. We are back from Cottonwood Heights for our next filming location, which is going to be Halloween 5, and that would be the gas station that Tina stops at. You can see that clock tower up on the left. If you look very closely, the convenience store would have been where that Galloway sign is on the right. We've now pulled off to where the convenience store once stood, and this is where Michael Myers was parking in his Camaro, was right in this very spot. As we turn around, we see where the convenience store once stood, which is now a private business. It appears as somebody's living in the parking lot as well. So while doing research for this location, I looked and tried to line things up and be prepared, but there's not a whole lot left on this street that looks like it did in 1989 when they filmed this here. I was looking for anything that might be still visible here. That car dealership actually is visible. You can see it there in front of the Camaro. You can see the clock tower, as we had mentioned earlier as well. The only other thing that may be the same is this place with these two garage doors, although it looks like this building was completely torn down again and rebuilt or extremely remodeled. There's not a whole lot to try to compare on this street. We're now an hour outside of Salt Lake City on our way to Penny's, the gas station from Halloween 4. And it's a good thing I came way out here because I was able to find one of the Hulk Hogan figures I've been looking for. Not only the Hulk Hogan figure, but it's the Chase version of it, which is even more hard to find. So we are approaching Penny's as Dr. Loomis did in the film. We're about to pull off exactly where he pulled off in the film. And in an update to this location, this Penny's Cafe has since closed after many years in business, and it is now for sale. This is the last video that I got of Penny's on my last trip, and it appears to be entirely different than it looked in the film, and has been for quite a while. This counter, which you see Michael Myers standing behind, and one of the most famous shots of the film, he's standing right here behind that, which used to be a doorway. It's now just a small window. Notice the countertop has been replaced. The countertop was more of a burgundy, darker red color in the film, and it is now just simply covered with pennies. Coming around the counter, this is where the dead waitress was laying that Dr. Loomis found her laying on the floor. That would have been right about here. Again, this place is completely unrecognizable almost 40 years after the filming took place here. And you can see just how remodeled this place is. Even the windows have gone over and been swapped out. In a little bit, we'll check out some of the original building around back. And coming over this way, this is the window that was used in the film that Dr. Loomis was standing in front of. We come around the side. This is more the kitchen area. Again, just about unrecognizable today. I mean, if you were to walk in here and not know this was used for Halloween 4, I don't think you would even recognize it. Again, there's a window, and you can see some of the highway and some of the Utah brush out there. So both completely inside and out, this place has changed, but you can kind of line up a few things, including this, where the home cooking and gas sign was at, is right about here where Dr. Loomis was standing. They kind of blocked off to the left with a trailer. This is a different ice machine than was used in the film. We make our way along the front of the building. I'm not sure if it translates on film on Halloween 4 how small this building actually is. It looks fairly big in the film, but it's actually, in reality, a really small place. You see the garage door on the left is the one that the mechanic left open. The garage door on the right is the one that Tom Morga comes crashing out of in the tow truck. And if you are making your way around the back, you can get a glimpse of how this actually looked in 1988, because they haven't remodeled this side of the building. This is actually how the whole building looked during the filming of Halloween 4, including the windows. The original windows from when they filmed the movie here are still intact on this side. You see one there behind Dr. Loomis when he finds the mechanic. So it's kind of interesting if you want to see how it looked back during filming. Come on this side of the building if you decide to visit. We make our way around the front of Penny's. Again, this is now closed. They are out of business, and the business is for sale. When I visited, I did ask the owner if there were gas pumps here. She said there were gas pumps here. They were not brought in for filming. That's what actually used to be out here in this lot. This was a working gas station. Not sure how long that has been since they removed all of that stuff, but both times I visited here, there were no gas pumps. And that road leads all the way down to where the tow truck heads off to. So we're now approaching a Halloween 6 location. Coming up here is going to be the entrance to Smith Grove that Tommy Doyle pulls his Jeep into from this driveway up here on the left. And this is about 3 minutes from downtown LA. Comes in right through this driveway here and pulls right into there. This building looks practically identical to how it looked in 1995, minus the Smith Grove sign that was added for filming. Kind of a strange street for them to film this on, considering it was supposed to be Hadenfield, Illinois, and it's actually right in the middle of downtown Los Angeles. Back to Salt Lake City now for our nighttime scenes. I wanted to kind of revisit the locations that we visited in the daytime to visit them again at night, to keep them a little bit closer to the source material of Halloween 4, since much happened at night. Once again here at Memory Grove Park, where the Ted Hollister scene was filmed. I do not believe the statue that we were looking at was actually lit up in 1988. Or if it was, they just didn't turn it on. And if screen caps would talk, you would know what Earl is saying right here, one of the best quotes of Halloween 4 in this particular scene. Memory Grove Park gives off a pretty close view to Capitol Hill. And it's actually all lit up at night. There's what I was speaking of, Capitol Hill, right up there. Continuing with our night stuff, we are heading over to one of the trick-or-treating houses from Halloween 4. One of the houses that Rachel and Jamie walk up to. Actually, a lot happened in this neighborhood. As we were only a few houses down, this is where Jamie claims to have a big dog with her and it bites. And that happened right along here. And right in this same area as we turn around. All we gotta do is turn around and we are seeing this building here that Sheriff Meeker and Dr. Loomis pull up to in the police car. Again, it's 10 o'clock at night here and it's still awfully light out. I was hoping it would be a little bit darker. Right here in the middle of the street is where Michael Myers, the real Michael Myers, was standing as Meeker and Loomis drive off. Then we have once again some of the houses that we visited earlier in the day. This is where one of the fake Michael Myers was standing. And this would be the other house where the other fake Michael Myers was standing. Coming back through here, once again, this is the toilet papering park. We won't be spending quite as much time visiting these locations as we did earlier. This is the same alleyway that Rachel heads up when her and Jamie get separated. And again, look again, it's 10 o'clock at night and it is super light out. Like, kind of crazy how light it stays here in the summertime here in Utah. So there's that garage I mentioned earlier in the video. We're passing by that again. And for the record, it is actually super creepy back here at night. Much like it is in Halloween 4. It's desolate back here. It's dark, it's quiet. And at any moment, it feels like something could pop out and get you, just like Michael Myers popped out in that scene. And right there is where he was standing in the film. George P. Wilbur was hiding behind the corner of that building there. And then they do get a very quick camera shot of this angle coming back down. You see Rachel walking up the driveway. And then right up here is where one of the coolest shots in the film, quite possibly the coolest shot in the film, where Michael Myers is approaching with kind of like the fog going behind him. That's a little bit further up here on the end. Definitely one of my favorite shots of Michael in Halloween 4 happened right there. We are now here at the Halloween 5 house. It looks nothing like it did earlier because I'm coming up a different side of the street, which is why it looks kind of not like the Myers house yet. We could just capture some of what was not used in the film by coming up this way. Very impressive that the owner replaced all of the old wood and Not only did they replace all the old wood, they managed to paint the house. I've been following this house for as long as I can remember, and this is the best that I've ever seen it look. But I wanted to show you guys this neighborhood at night, since a lot takes place in Halloween 5 at night, right out here in this area. Again, right here is where the deputy was parked that gets hit from behind by Michael Myers approaching in the other squad car. And then this street is just peppered with SWAT team and all kinds of cops and people who are patiently waiting for Michael Myers to show up. There's the window that Jamie was sitting at, also the same window that Charlie was hung out of. So for our final location, we are out here on the 4th of July. I am at Bucky's Power Plant over here in Midville, Utah. You could see just what a good job the cinematographer and the director of photography did in Halloween 4, lighting everything in that nice blue color for the night scenes. I feel like that's the only thing missing from this right now, is that tone of blue that is just persistent throughout most of the film. We touched on where Bucky was earlier. He's on the other side of that, and now on the other side of this. You still can see some of this in the film. But this is going to be a wrap on the extended cut of my Halloween 4, 5, and 6 filming locations. I want to remind everybody, if you enjoyed this video, I do have other filming location videos that are currently out on the channel. I have Halloween 1 and 2, in addition to lots of Halloween 3 content, and then separately Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6. And then we're doing some deep cuts. I have filming locations for Suburban Commando and The Hills Have Eyes Part 2, and I'm working on some other projects as well. So until the next time I see everybody on the channel, I'm going to say so long, everybody.